Hey guys, it's Layla from Ignite, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through some candid on-the-spot analysis, picking apart a feature article that is suited to the common module human experience. But before I get into that, please do like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell for notifications. And if you are looking for some resources to really boost your study over the next year, check out our website, Ignite HSC. But for now, let's get into today's video. So what I'm trying to mirror for you in this vid is how you approach an extract from a text when you're dealing with comprehension in particular, but also more generally when you're looking at any extract and you're trying to work out, okay, where are my techniques here and how do I spot them? I've chosen to do a feature article because I do note that students often find non-fiction texts quite tricky to understand because unlike those quite prosaic or very sensory extracts from other texts, feature articles don't come off as obvious with the use of techniques. Note with feature articles, think about if the text is persuasive or if it's trying to provoke you to think about an idea in a certain way, in which case elements such as rhetoric or persuasive tone would be really useful. Also, don't forget to start with your basics, right? Think about how sentences themselves have been formed. For example, consider the use of syntax, which is the sentence structure and the word order. Ask yourself, what voice is the piece being written? Is it first person? Is it quite intimate and biased potentially in that regard? Is it third person, which is more omniscient and impartial in the way that ideas have been conveyed? Or is it maybe third person limited? Is it written in a third person but focalizing one particular person's perspective through the way the article has been constructed? So a couple of ideas, some preliminary thoughts when we're thinking about feature articles. But what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to show you the extract from the text. I'll read through it in full and then we'll go through bit by bit and pick out the techniques that are relevant in there. I think this is also worth noting that when you're preparing for comprehension, the best thing for you guys to do is to take out extracts from any text. There's an abundance of text that exists out there in the literary world. Take them, look at them and issue spot. And what I mean by that is, work through picking out the techniques. It's the best way for you to enhance your on-the-spot analysis skills, and always put yourself under time pressure when you're doing that to mimic the pressure that you will confront inevitably when you are in an exam. Okay, let's take a look at the text. So it's just an extract. The title is Dating Apps and COVID-19. Is it love or is it lockdown stress? It's quite timely and contemporarily relevant, but nevertheless, let's give it a read. Rather than stopping all dating, COVID-19 has led to an acceleration of relationships and romance. It took a global pandemic for Danny to finally get a lasting match on online dating. Apart from a handful of unsuccessful dates, she had been single for several years. Danny was about to quit altogether when her dating app widened the area for who she could talk to during the coronavirus lockdown. The app no longer displayed only those in her immediate vicinity. Now Danny could talk to anyone in the world. I thought, I'm going to see what the world has to offer me, she says. I started looking around London, Milan, and ended up in New York. This guy came up on my screen, super cute, really cheeky smile, grey hair, a bit of a silver fox. But I didn't think anything of it. I just thought we'd have a few chats. And I'll end it there. Okay, so we've got a light-hearted topic that's being discussed. So the tone is kind of romantic and it's not too heavy. It's playful in that regard. But let's start with the opening line. Rather than stopping all dating, COVID-19 has led to an acceleration. So notice the direct tone, the high modality, and almost the authoritative nature of the voice within the text. Typical, right, of a feature article. They usually are trying to persuade or dictate an idea if it is persuasive, and you can see that from the opening sentence. It took a global pandemic for Danny to finally get a lasting match on online dating. So they're using here an anecdote, right? A story, a kind of casual story about a real life person to illustrate this idea about dating apps and COVID-19 to add weight to what's being asserted. A real life example gives validity to the points that are being raised. Apart from a handful of unsuccessful dates, she had been single for several years. So we have a little bit of backstory here, a bit of characterization behind Danny to get a feel for her dating life. Single for several years and dates unsuccessful. You notice the repetition of the S sound there. Perhaps that's an intentional use of sibilance to draw our mind to how long Danny has been single before this coronavirus incident. Danny was about to quit altogether, so notice the tone of defeat before coronavirus when her dating app widened the area. So again, a little bit of backstory is continuing here to inform us of why she was able to find more fruitful opportunity during the pandemic in terms of finding a lover. The app no longer displayed only those in her immediate vicinity. Now Danny could talk to anyone in the whole world. Again, high modality, broadening the scope of anyone that Danny might meet to enhance her possibility of finding a match. Now, note the use of dialogue or quotes from Danny. It not only humanizes her to actually hear her perspective, but also adds weight to the points being asserted because we have quotes to back it up from the person who is actually being discussed. I thought, I'm going to see what the world has to offer me. I started looking around London, Milan, and ended up in New York. So she's now giving her personal insight to what has happened through the use of the quotation there and the dialogue. This guy came up on my screen. Super cute, really cheeky smile, grey hair. So notice the accumulation and listing all of the qualities of her match to characterize him and bring him to life as well so that we can empathize with her experience. But I didn't think anything of it. I just thought we'd have a few chats. So it's initially framing her, I guess, low modality, her tone of apprehension prior to getting into the dating scene. And if we go on to read the rest of the article, we'll perhaps see how her initial expectations were subverted, seeing as the title poses the question, is it love or is it lockdown stress? Note also, by the way, the rhetorical question there in the title. And now we'll see how the story goes on to answer the question that is being posed in the title itself. Okay, so I guess a text like this would probably be accompanied by a question. It could be accompanied by many questions really, but typical ones that you could expect to see is how does the extract explore the shared nature of human experiences? How does the extract explore anomalies which may arise in human experiences? Anomalies, right, being a departure from a norm, the departure here being the context, right? It's not usual that we have a global pandemic, but what's happening within this is also unexpected to find love in a world where people are typically isolated. It might be how does a text explore paradoxes of human experience, the paradox being an isolated context but finding yourself quite connected to other people. So you can brainstorm different rubric links and write your own questions if you like for that extract. But what I'm hoping to have framed so far is how you move through a feature article, how you can pick out some techniques, despite them not being immediately obvious, because it's not, as I mentioned earlier, the sensory or the rich kind of writing that we see in poems or short story extracts. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please do comment if you have any questions and I'll do my best to get back to you. But thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications. And if you do want resources to really help you through your studies over the next year, check out our website. We've got form, context, textual analysis, exemplar responses covered on a lot of the prescribed texts. So you won't regret having a look at Ignite HSC. But again, thank you so much for watching and I really hope to see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you do like the content, subscribe to our channel and we'll have more videos coming your way.
That's right guys, thanks for watching and please make sure you check out our online resource database. We've had a team of state rank achievers and heads of English put these together for you, covering everything from essay structures and examples all the way through to craft of writing and comprehension skills. So check them out at ignitehse.com.au and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.